It's recap time. 3, 2. Hey, quick interruption. Same chip from the drawer of the previous episode. I'm just here to tell you that if you've already listened to the previous episode, you can skip directly to the recap part. Otherwise, I'll leave you with the intro. 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Shower Podcast, the podcast where I'm in my shower and you do you. I'm your host, Chip, and this is an unusual intro to an already unusual intro that usually happens during the recap episodes. I have experienced a technical difficulty, let's say so. I am currently away for a vacation and I brought my laptop with me to edit, but unfortunately the blueprint of the recap episodes is not present on my laptop. I have no way of recovering it, so yeah, something new needs to be created. And for your curiosity, it is being created in the closet of the house where I'm staying just to improve as much as possible the audio quality. The recap episodes are still what you know. And if you don't know, if this is the first time you ended up on this channel, they are an interesting and fast way to give you the main points and ideas of old episodes and maybe make you interested enough to go back and watch the original episodes. And if you're a usual listener of the Shower Podcast, you already know the drill. And maybe also for you, it's a way to listen again to old ideas and make something new out of them. What else to say? If you ended up making it so far already, remember the liking and subscribing are really, really welcome. And as usual, stay consistent, stay resilient. This will be the Shower Podcast, and I'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be here.
Today we're doing something a bit different. We're diving into 3 recent, really insightful reflections from a creator named Chip.
That's right. From his Shower Podcast, he actually asked us to sort of summarize his recent journey of self-reflection.
Yeah, across his episodes 246, 247, and 248. So we're excited to unpack those insights for you.
And look, if these ideas resonate, if they spark something for you, Chip would love for you to check out the originals to get the full, unedited experience there.
Definitely recommend it.
So Chip's explorations, they really touch on some universal stuff, don't they? Motivation, productivity.
I mean, meaning in the everyday, yeah.
Exactly. So our goal today is really to distill the core wisdom, maybe highlight some memorable moments.
There are a few good ones.
Oh, yeah. And just sort of connect the dots between his thoughts as they evolved over these 3 episodes.
Okay, sounds like a plan. Let's unpack this journey, starting with Chip's first deep dive, the one about what truly defines us.
Episode 246.
All right, episode 246. Chip starts with this pretty profound idea. Tell me your obsession, I'll tell you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
He basically argues that our obsessions directly reflect who we are, and maybe more importantly, the specific moment we're living in right now.
And he makes a strong case that everyone has an obsession. Like, it's impossible to live without one driving you in some way.
What I found interesting was Chip's take on the word obsession.
Yeah.
He's careful to say it's not inherently good or bad.
Exactly. He points out that the actual behavior linked to obsession, that intense focus, the drive, it looks pretty similar whether the obsession itself is, positive or negative.
Right, it's the energy behind it.
Yeah, the energy, the constant thought, it's how that energy reveals what you really prioritize deep down.
He gives a great personal example of a positive obsession for him. Racket sports.
Oh yeah, tennis, paddle.
Yeah, anything with a racket. And he describes how, for him, the effort just doesn't feel tough. Finding time is easy. Any little improvement makes him happy.
That feeling of effortless engagement.
Totally. He calls it a moment of realization, where he just sees the value and can picture doing it long term. He sees it as social, healthy.
He even jokes it's one of the healthiest sports.
He does. And I think we can all relate to that feeling, right? When something just clicks and pulls you in without struggle.
Absolutely. And that's the key contrast he draws. Because then he talks about negative obsessions.
Where that same intense focus can kind of blind you.
Precisely. Blind you to obvious red flags. Someone might ignore what everyone else sees because they're just so fixated on one goal.
Like in relationships or careers?
Yeah, he mentions those specifically, where maybe you start compromising values you used to hold dear just to get to that finish line.
And the defining moment there is different.
Very different. It's when reality hits, that moment of reflection where you suddenly think, oh, wait, I see why things are going so wrong around me now. It's not about intrinsic value anymore. It's about seeing the wreckage.
So the big takeaway here, Chip's saying your obsessions aren't just side hobbies. They're like blueprints of your values.
That's a great way to put it. Blueprints.
And he really challenges you, the listener, to identify your own obsessions. What are you sacrificing for them? What's the real value you're getting?
And then, crucially, to categorize them. Are they positive overall? Or are they leaning negative?
Because without them, life wouldn't be the same. So knowing which ones are which helps you steer things more intentionally.
Makes sense.
Okay, so once Chip establishes what defines us through these obsessions, he naturally moves to how we actually pursue these things. How do we do it in a way that feels satisfying?
Right, which leads us to episode 247.
Episode 247, yeah. I owe you an apology. It's not Silksong's fault. It actually starts with a pretty funny, almost dramatic apology for missing one of his daily episodes.
It does, but it leads to a really great insight, doesn't it?
Totally. He explains he missed it not because he was lazy or forgot, but because he made a conscious choice. He didn't want to rush it.
He wanted to wait and deliver something meaningful, right? Not just check a box with something subpar.
Exactly. He mentions, external reasons, a work event, bad weather keeping him away from home. But the core was about quality.
And that connects directly to something else he was thinking about.
Ah, yes. Hollow Knight, Silksong, the game we're all waiting for.
The legendary delay, he mentions it was, 7 years in the making?
Something like that, yeah. Highly anticipated. And Chip was super eager to play it. But he had this realization.
That playing it the second it dropped wasn't the most important thing.
Right. It was more important to do it the right way, to be in the right environment, the right mindset, to actually savor the experience.
He compared it to rushing a meal versus taking your time to enjoy it. It's not just doing the thing, but the quality of how you engage with it.
That really resonated. Have you ever felt that? Prioritizing the experience over just getting it done.
Oh, definitely. And Chip's point is that the real value often lies there in the quality, not just hitting the deadline or consuming it instantly.
And this idea gets reinforced by something else he noticed, right? At a work event.
Yeah, this Oscars-themed recognition event. He observed this pattern among the people who were really successful and presumably fulfilled.
What was the pattern?
It wasn't just about doing what they liked. And it wasn't just about doing what they had to do for recognition.
It was a mix.
Exactly. They found that sweet spot. They combined things they were genuinely good at, things that were necessary for recognition in that environment, and this is key things they actually enjoy doing that also happen to bring them recognition.
Okay, so that's the principle he extracts for us.
Pretty much. When you're deciding what to focus on next, try to find something you're good at and you like. But, and this is the crucial bit, make sure there's enough room, enough buffer to weave in things that also bring value or recognition externally.
Because going to the extremes, pure passion with no results, or pure recognition chasing you hate, that just won't feel right long term.
He says it'll eventually feel off. It's about designing your efforts for both that internal joy and tangible, sustainable results. Find the blend.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. So we've got obsessions defining us, and a mindful way to pursue them. What's next in Chip's journey?
Well, he then tackles something maybe less obvious, but super relevant. The hidden energy drain in our daily lives.
The transitions. Episode 248. Tiny steps, heavy shadows. The real reason you're tired.
Yeah, he introduces this great concept he calls the weight of transitions.
And the core idea is, it's not usually the task itself that wears us out, right?
Not always, no. It's often the in-between. That mental effort of switching gears, especially when you're at home, moving from one kind of task to another.
His mind starts spinning, he says. Asking things like, okay, how do I wrap this up? Or should I take a break first?
And suddenly, these simple shifts feel heavy. He calls them lying shadows that pull you away, making the doorway seem harder to pass through than the room itself.
It feels so true. And it's not just a feeling, is it? There's science behind this.
Oh, yeah. This lines up perfectly with psychological concepts. You've probably heard of switch cost.
Vaguely, yeah. The mental toll of changing tasks.
Exactly. Studies show it can take, up to 23 minutes sometimes to fully get your focus back after switching. But Chip adds this unique insight. It's often the anticipation of the switch, the mental planning, and maybe dread that weighs us down more than the switch itself.
So you're already tired before you even change tasks.
Right. And it ties into another idea, Linda Stone's continuous partial attention, where you're kind of half focused on what you're doing and half thinking about the next thing.
Never fully present.
Never fully present. And Chip's experience really shows the mental fatigue that creates. Your brain's through all this extra work just thinking about moving on.
He gives that great contrast between being at home and being away for a super packed weekend.
Right, on the busy weekend, packed schedule, no time to think. The transitions felt light, effortless almost.
Why? Because the environment just forced the changes.
Exactly. Different places, different people, different activities back to back. He didn't have to decide to switch. It just happened automatically.
But back home, same desk, same room.
His brain turns the transition itself into a problem to be solved instead of just letting it happen naturally.
He mentions wasting like 30 minutes just thinking about starting dinner.
Yeah, making himself more tired before he even picks up a pan. The thinking about it takes as long or longer than the actual task might.
Crazy. So if the mind is the problem here, what did Chip figure out as a solution?
Well, he taps into what experts call attention management. He realizes our brains often need cues, physical or time-based cues, to kind of reset and accept a shift.
Like a routine.
Yeah, or even just walking around the block, moving to a different room, changing the lighting, anything that signals, okay, that task is done, now we're doing this.
Those cues were built in on his weekend away.
Right, the environment provided them. At home, without those external cues, his brain fills the vacuum with overthinking.
So what can we do? What are his practical tips?
He suggests shrinking the transition. Make it tiny. Instead of that big mental debate about starting dinner, just do one micro step.
Right.
Just close the laptop. Exactly. Or just stand up. Often, once you make that tiny physical shift, the next step follows more naturally. The inertia is broken.
That makes sense. Get the body moving first.
Yeah. And he also touches on building new habits around transitions, kind of like Charles Duhigg's habit loop, cue, routine, reward.
Okay, how would that work for a transition?
Well, instead of fighting the mental drag, you design around it. So maybe the cue is shutting your work computer. The routine is immediately putting on your favorite cooking time playlist. And the reward is that feeling of easily shifting into dinner prep without the mental battle.
So you're tricking your brain with a pre-planned sequence.
Basically, yeah. It's about designing for automaticity, making it easy, rather than relying on sheer willpower to overcome the friction.
I love that. Design, not willpower.
And Chip's final thought on this is really powerful. He says, the transition isn't the problem, my mind is.
Wow.
We're the ones who overthink the gaps between things. We give these shifts a weight, a significance they don't need to have.
Like we're supposed to perform the transition perfectly instead of just letting it happen.
Exactly. We put a spotlight on it. So his challenge to you, the listener, is simple. Just pay attention to your transitions today. Notice the overthinking.
And then try shrinking it.
Yeah, try shrinking it with one tiny step, a simple cue, a little ritual. Just don't let that doorway feel heavier than the room you're walking into.
What a fantastic journey through Chip's thinking over these 3 episodes. Seriously insightful.
It really is, from understanding those core obsessions.
To pursuing them mindfully, finding that blend.
And then managing that hidden friction of just moving through your day.
It really underscores how understanding our own internal landscape, our own minds, is just so key to living more intentionally, maybe with a bit less exhaustion.
Absolutely. Chip's very personal reflections really drive home how self-awareness, knowing your motivations, how you engage, even how your brain handles simple shifts can make such a huge difference to your energy and just your overall satisfaction.
It's not just about cramming more in, is it?
Not at all. It's about doing things better, with more presence, less internal struggle.
Well, we really hope this deep dive into Chip's unique perspective has given you some useful ideas to chew on.
Yeah, maybe you'll spot a positive obsession you hadn't named before.
Or maybe you'll approach something new with that savoring mindset.
Or perhaps just try a tiny micro ritual to make that next switch between tasks feel invisible.
It really is all about designing your life with a bit more intention, isn't it?
Couldn't agree more.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today.
Always a pleasure.
See you tomorrow.